Earlier today, the Senate Judiciary Committee held a confirmation hearing for another one of Donald Trump's nominees to be a federal judge, this time for the Southern District of Indiana. His name is Justin Olson, and I want to talk through some of his testimony because it's deeply concerning. And I really encourage you, once you are finished watching this video, please pick up the phone and call your senator and give them some feedback about what you're about to see regarding Attorney Justin Olson from Indiana, who is aspiring to be one of Donald Trump's judges at the federal level. Now, shockingly, it was Senator Kennedy, he's a piece of work, who was questioning Olson about some sermons that he gave at a couple of different Presbyterian churches. This one, I believe, is at the Second Reformed Presbyterian Church in Indiana, where Olson has been an elder.
During that sermon, you said that marriage was not intended for all people, including, and I'm going to quote your words, our handicapped friends or our persons with physical disabilities that might prevent the robust marriage that we're called to, close quote. Did you say that?
I think I did, Senator, yes.
Now, Olson went on to try and explain away his comments to make them sound a little less eugenicist and a little bit more palatable to the Republicans and I guess all of the senators in that hearing today. He tried to claim, I know I said people with disabilities, but I actually just meant people who are born eunuchs, and how they should be called to singleness as a result. It was a really weird kind of pretzel he twisted himself into to try to justify those comments. Now, as I have said since before the 2024 election, remember when RFK Jr. ran for president as a Democrat? And then, he dropped all that real quick when he realized he could hitch his wagon to Donald Trump's star. And everything in the news was just like, Maha, make America healthy again. RFK Jr. was promoting all kinds of anti-science quackery and realizing that he could cement a position in Donald Trump's regime in order to what? Enact eugenics, in order to completely dismantle the public health of the American people, in order to do shit like say he's going to eradicate autism, in order to do things like propose putting people with mental health struggles on work farms, putting autistic people on work farms. Maha is eugenics. The Trump regime is a eugenicist regime. So we should be 0% surprised that one of Donald Trump's nominees to the federal court would say things like people with physical disabilities should not be getting married. It's beyond ableism, right? Of course, ableism is a component of this. I've talked about that extensively so far this year, and I'm not the only one. Crutches and Spice has talked about it a lot. It's not just ableism, it goes beyond that. It is full on eugenics. They don't want people that don't fit their very narrow range of white, heterosexual, wealthy, able-bodied. They don't want anybody else to reproduce. Eugenics and fascism go hand in hand. Maha is a eugenicist movement. Project 2025 is expressly eugenicist. And also, let me say, as an ex-Presbyterian, as an ex-Calvinist, I am 0% shocked to hear that somebody in the Reformed Presbyterian Church would say shit like this, especially not from Indiana. Sorry, Hoosiers. I know there's a lot of awesome Hoosiers who are stuck in the hellscape of gerrymandered uber MAGA Indiana. But yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that somebody who's from the Reformed Presbyterian tradition in the Midwest would have this take. But Olson's concerning comments, things he has said in church, are not confined simply to eugenics and ableism. He also had this to say. Let me just show you this little clip from later in the hearing.
On July 24, 2022, you gave another sermon at the Columbia Reformed Presbyterian Church. Do you remember that?
The Columbus Reformed Presbyterian Church, yes.
You were speaking about sexuality, is that correct?
I gave two sermons at that church.
This whole aesthetic, by the way,
and
this is a Project 2025 aesthetic. This is a white Christian nationalist aesthetic.
Well, in one of them you said, quote, transgenderism, homosexuality, fornication, and all sorts of sexual perversions was a form of hypocrisy from, quote, your words, shame on the inside. You say that?
I don't recall the precise wording, but that sounds...
what did you mean by that?
Yeah, Senator, thanks for the opportunity to clarify that. So I was preaching a sermon on a passage in the Old Testament about an Old Testament King Uzziah who was stricken with leprosy.
I don't have a lot of time, Counselor. Tell me what you meant by that.
Sure, that many...
Do you believe that fornication is a form of sexual perversion?
Senator, my personal views, my religious views, what I was speaking at that time
are reprehensible.
Of the people that I was preaching to, as a judge sitting here today, my obligation is to apply the rule of law.
Yeah, I understand that, but my obligation is to try to understand you, because this is a lifetime appointment. Do you believe that fornication, which I assume you mean by that the Sex Act, is a form of sexual perversion?
Senator, the doctrine of the church that I was at does state that fornication is a sin.
Well, what do you mean by fornication?
This is a man seeking a lifetime appointment to the federal court who thinks that people who engage in sex out of marriage, trans people, homosexual people, are shameful and deviant. But he doesn't want us to think that that is going to impact the way that he rules in his courtroom. Now, he went on to continue to kind of obfuscate and be like, oh, these are the rules of my church. I believe everything that my church says, but this is just the rules of my church. And these are the people that I'm speaking to. It's their position. But Senator Kennedy did get him on the record being like, I believe all of this.
I took, as an elder, I took a vow.
Is it your doctrine?
As an elder of the RPCA.
Is your doctrine?
Senator, my personal views as a judge are not the object of what I would rule upon.
Kennedy went on to grill him about statements he made saying that women should be subservient in marriage. And Olson tried to say, well, this is the Christian view. No. It is your particular branch of Christianity's view.
In your talks at your Sunday school, you said that God, quote, has called wives to be subject to their husband, end quote, and to, quote, serve the good of your husband and support his calling, close quote. Did you say that?
I gave a couple Sunday school lectures around that time. I don't recall the particular one, but I think I recall saying something along those lines.
What did you mean by that?
So in Christian marriage, as explained by the apostles, I was describing our church's understanding of what Christian marriage ought to look like.
And you believe Christian marriage provides that women have to be subservient to their husbands?
Senator, I think I was quoting either a passage in Ephesians.
He doesn't want to answer the question, does he?
Those are not my words. Those are words in the scriptures.
You said them. Do you believe them?
Senator, I believe every word of the Bible.
I really encourage you to call your senators and express your concern over this man's beliefs, this man's positions. He is seeking a lifetime appointment to the federal court. But also understand none of his positions would seem extreme or out of place in white Christian nationalism, in MAGA Christianity, in the Reformed Christian tradition in this country. He is your poster child for Project 2025. Everything coming out of his mouth, straight out of Project 2025. Everything about his appearance, straight out of Project 2025. And what is considered good, righteous, acceptable, the way that Project 2025 wants to move this country. And Donald Trump is nominating people. We all know Russell Vogt is the one telling Donald Trump who to nominate. But please understand, as shocking as those statements are, that is what Project 2025 wants to normalize in this country. That's what they want everybody to believe. This is what Mike Johnson wants people to believe. This is the theocracy that they want to create in this country. These are the kind of extreme beliefs they want to be normal in the United States of America. Good time to call your senator.